This morning's guest is a sign of hope and promise for the Coastal Regional Outreach Center of the South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind. Who is she? You'll meet her coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Coastal Regional Outreach Center of the South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind. We're focused on the center and its many activities, and we're visiting with its director, Dorothy Bambach. Good morning, Dorothy.
Good morning, Greg.
Thank you so much for hosting us all week. It's been already kicked off yesterday. Great way to kick off the week, and of course all week long. A lot going on right now with the school.
Yes, we're delighted that you're here, as we've worked together in the past, and I know the community learned so much about us through your efforts to help our word get out there.
You remember a couple of years ago when we were at your other location here in Conway, you had folks from all over the state that had traveled in for that week.
Yes, it's very good.
Interviews.
You know, people really don't know exactly what we do here, so we welcome this kind of an opportunity to let the community know that we don't really have deaf children here or blind children right at our premise, but yet we offer contracted services to the school districts that do serve the students around here.
You do have folks pop in here, and of course right here on Main Street at 212 Main Street here in Conway, you have folks pop in on a regular basis.
Oh, sure we do, and as you know, when you did your tour before, when you arrived, you saw we have all wealth of information on deafness and blindness related topics. You know, we'll get phone calls, people looking to find us in the telephone book, and we get many calls from people of macular degeneration, and they want to know what resources are there, so we will refer them on also.
Right.
And, you know, because we are on a main street here, as you mentioned, right off this beautiful little bridge in Conway, we do get people that see our sign and come in.
Mm-hmm. Are many of the other outreach centers around the state similar, where they're in a prime location that they encourage folks to come in, or is it principally, you've got how many locations around the state?
Well, right now we've got another office that under my supervision in Florence.
Right. That's right.
We have Charleston, and they just moved to another new location in downtown Charleston. And we have Rock Hill, a small office up there, and a larger one in Columbia. Right. And then in the Piedmont regional office, which is on the campus at Spartanburg.
Mm-hmm. You know, with the interest recently in persons, in deaf persons and in blind persons.
Sure.
I think you mentioned Marley Matlin and Governor David Patterson recently. I mean, highlighted it. It draws a little extra attention in the national as well as on the local sphere to persons.
I know, and you know, I think it shows us something, all of us, that, you know, deaf people and blind people are not objects of pity. They're people that need support and accommodations and services. I mean, look at
Marley Matlin.
Yes, I'm just so proud of her watching that show every week to see how she's dancing, and look at the stereotypes that she's breaking that people might have had. And then the governor of New York State, who is now just recently made it. And he is blind, and he is certainly leading the way.
He really is. He really is, and he is definitely not. He is going all the way. I mean, he's making a real commitment to make sure folks don't recognize them that way or think about it as any more of a deficiency.
You know, it's all about their humanity, their humanness, their interests, and their uniqueness. They are human first, who happen to be either deaf or blind. As we, you know, want everybody in the community to know that when we do our public speaking events. You know, even when we speak, we should try to always put the person first. It's a person who is blind, a person who is deaf.
That's very important, Dorothy. Folks oftentimes will lose their sight later in life. They've had vision for much of their lives, or of course, many of the children you're working with are folks that are children that have had had issues since birth.
That's correct, that's correct. And with an aging population, you know, we see people who are losing their vision because of macular degeneration or glaucoma. There are two big ones around South Carolina that, you know, and it's sad, you know, you'll pick up the phone here and a woman might be crying, saying, I just don't know what to do. I've lost my sight, I'm losing it. And it's a new way of life for me, and what can we do? And then we go into business there. We'll refer them to the Commission for the Blind.
Right.
We have many different kinds of catalogs that we'll put in the mail for them.
Really?
To give them different things around their home, that they can get little adapters for the kitchen, for example, to help them know which button to press on the microwave.
Right.
Just little things like that. And We also participate in the low vision support group that meets here in Myrtle Beach on a monthly basis to make sure they know about that group of people, to talk to others who are going through the same disability acceptance and awareness that others in our local area have been doing. I have something I wanted to show you today, Greg, if that's okay.
Dorothy, thank you. Sure.
One of the things that our outreach division did 3 years ago was get a grant from South Carolina Developmental Disabilities Council.
Right.
And we have been going around the state of South Carolina training hospitals on how to deal effectively with patients who are deaf or blind. And one thing we do is we acquired these special goggles, and we asked the nurses and medical staff to put the goggles on, and they simulate. We can change the lenses, and this one simulates macular degeneration. This one simulates cataract, if you want to just take a
Yeah,
peek.
absolutely. Oh, boy. You said the left one simulates
Macular degeneration
and the right one cataract. Golly, Dorothy, that's and so that would be a permanent, I mean, a virtually permanent.
Or getting worse with age and the length of time that people have these impairments happening. So I guess our message is that it's not just that you become completely blinded in the world of darkness. You can have a foggy vision.
Right.
You can have peripheral vision, central vision, and that's an accommodation of how you could, continue to read. So that's some of the things that we do in our awareness training. Is
The
use
hospitals, the
something
staff,
like this,
you
the
can see the
staff.
kind of impact that it makes on them quickly. I mean, they
Oh.
can have a much better appreciation for what the
Yes.
patients they're dealing with are going through.
Right, and then we also have a special video or an audio tape that plays that removes hearing loss segments.
Is that
So
right?
people, the nurses, get to hear as if they had a sensory neural hearing loss. And we actually have a trainer who was deaf and a trainer who was blind. And that's very great impact. So as I said, we've done 30 hospitals all over the state. Now we're doing schools of nursing and DHEC, regional DHEC offices. DHEC people run our hurricane shelters
Sure.
and run our clinics where they might have an opportunity to treat patients who are deaf or blind. So it's received rave reviews. And next year when our grant is done, we will still have the program available on a cost basis to cover the costs only, since we are a state agency, but of putting this road show on, with an interpreter and 4 trainers. It's a 2-hour program. It's just been fun, very fun for us to deliver the program, and we've had huge crowds, and it's gone over very well. And that's an outreach function of our school.
Absolutely. So many things that persons don't think about on a daily basis. When we think about hospitals and the impact that if a nurse or a doctor are dealing with a patient that's either visually impaired or hearing impaired, to have to get their issues across, it can be really something that they need some special training on.
It's communication, and it's a way of having them feel more comfortable in leading. We even teach them how to walk correctly, how to guide a person who is blind by using their elbow, how to go into an emergency room and approach a patient who is deaf or blind.
Right.
And that's what we teach.
Dorothy, if a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, is there a good phone number for someone to learn more about coming in, possibly coming by to learn more about the school and y'all's outreach service, as well as, of course, our viewers in the PD, if they were calling this office, you could give them the PD number as well.
Well, sure. I would call our number at 843-248-8100.
Okay.
And we have an administrative assistant here. If I'm out on a training, the phone is answered and the information is given immediately.
Right. Very important. Of course, as you said, I think you've got some other great props today. We did want to take a few minutes to highlight an upcoming golf tournament. I believe part of the reason we wanted to get together this week and prompted us coming over was the opportunity. I think last year you were with us when we were at Wells Fargo, I believe, in Myrtle Beach up on 38th, highlighting the golf tournament. How did it turn out last year?
Oh, we had a very successful event. We had a nice sunny day, but not too much humidity. It's in June, it's a June event. And we had nearly 100 golfers.
Is that right? Great.
Yes, and somebody even got a hole-in-one.
Oh, come on.
How rare is that?
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been going over well, and we had our first international visitor.
Really?
People from England were in the area for a week, and they decided they would, help us out in our fundraising event, and they were there. So we are international now, Greg. So I hope they come back this year.
Let's hope so. From many countries.
Yeah, so it will be June 14th, and we're changing our location for this year. It will be at Beechwood golf
Oh,
club
great. It'll be
up
at Beechwood.
in North Myrtle Beach. It'll be 9 o'clock in the morning with a shotgun start. That's $60 a person we charge, and now we're looking for gifts and we're looking for whole sponsorships right now.
There are sponsorships available.
Yes, we still have a few left, so if anyone would like to have a nice little sign propped up by a hole, we'd love to accommodate their advertising needs.
Absolutely. They'd want to call the 843-248-8100 number.
Yes.
That's the best number?
That's
okay.
about our golf tournament.
You've got some great auction items donated year after year. I think you all have been having the tournament. This must be the fourth or fifth. Is that right? The fourth year.
One.
Great. Share with viewers real quick about how the tournament kicked off. I think I remember the connection of someone who had been in, who had taken classes here, and of course that's something else important for people to think about.
Sure. The sign language classes that we offer American Sign Language 1, 2, and Tiny Fingers. Tiny Fingers is for hearing parents that have hearing children, because we know that sign language is very important in helping all children's literacy because you're using another sense.
Right.
But to go back to the golf tournament, through teaching sign language class, one of our students was attorney Angela Elliott.
Yes.
And Angela wanted to learn basic signs in case she had any deaf clients come to her door. So Angela came to the class and we became kind of friends, knowing that she was from North Myrtle Beach too, where my husband and I live. And she said, well, what about doing some fundraising? My father has a golf course. So it was Senator Elliott's golf course, and his sponsorship and assistance to us. He's been very generous with us up at Eagle Nest. So we ran the event 3 years there, and this year we're switching to Beechwood. But it was through a sign language class, one of our programs in the community, and that's how it happened. And we use that money. This year we've done some very different things to utilize and give back the profit from that golf tournament to our local community.
Right.
One of them was a White Cane Day.
Back in October.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great day.
Very well received.
What we did was, and we started off asking our mayor here of Conway.
Okay, Greg Martin,
to give us a proclamation, and then we included the Conway Federation of the Blind. And you know, we have many Federation of the Blind local chapters, and the South Carolina State Federation of the Blind, the president is from Myrtle Beach.
Is that right?
Yes, this is his picture. He's an attorney Parnell Diggs.
Parnell Diggs, yes.
And he is blind and a wonderful attorney. And he led off the day with reading the proclamation. And
you had a great attendance there. I know viewers can't see all these pictures, but it's great to have a scrapbook available as well for folks coming here to the office.
You know what we did, Greg? We set up our parking lot here.
Yeah, let me see. I'll
212
try to
Main
hold
Street.
that up. Let's see if our director can get anything there. It may be tough to get much there, but still to get a feel, sure.
What we did was we put the goggles on passers-by who wanted to get involved, and we had white canes there, and we set up some obstacles, and we called it White Cane Lane.
I see that. I see White Cane Lane. What a great idea.
They got the opportunity to understand more about the impact of blindness. It was a wonderful day. We had all the
people of all ages.
Exactly. The agency people that also offer services. There's Braille workers. There's a Lutheran church in Myrtle Beach, that does Braille Bible production.
I didn't know that.